Who do we have here?
E.J. Raven.
Dr. E.J. Raven?
Of course. Does he even need an introduction? I think we can
No,
just
not
turn the
around
time
here.
over to him.
Not around here.
All right, E.J. Well, we're talking about a client of yours
Yeah.
who huge lifestyle changes.
Fantastic,
and
wonderful
great
lifestyle
results.
changes. And we've got a little experiment going on this morning. We tried to shoot some film off-site here, and you're going to see Dr. Raven as the interviewer, and you may get a kick or two out of that.
You're interviewing us right now.
No, well, okay, oh, yeah. And how's it? No. And so this little clip will show her and kind of show some of her experience, and let's hit it and see what happens.
Okay, and what was her name?
Her name's Lynn Wiley.
Lynn Wiley. Okay, so we're going to take a look at Lynn's tape real quick, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
Sure.
Experiences, you've been through life, you've climbed the corporate ladder, things are going great. You start to have some issues with some neurology. Was it some numbness in your hands?
Yeah, so last fall I started having some symptoms, some pressure in my chest, some numbness in my fingers, some weakness on my left side, which was pretty scary.
Yeah, we don't like pressure and weakness and stuff like that. So you go into the doc, they run a bunch of tests, and what do they come out with?
Right, so they rule out a lot of things. I don't have cancer, I don't have a brain tumor, I don't have a
Both
hole
good.
in my heart, which is good.
Good things not to have.
So as the field narrows in all of these tests, the diagnosis is pointing toward MS.
Okay, so you're told MS, and for the MS diagnosis isn't a very positive one. There's a lot of concern and negative and a lot of information out there about MS that can be extremely detrimental, huh?
Sure. I mean, what was scary, I didn't know that much about MS, and then when you personally get a diagnosis like that, and it wasn't definitive, but it was pointing in the direction of MS. And when you get a diagnosis like that and it's personal, you start researching it, and the verdict on my life now goes from being a very happy, carefree, healthy person to, in 15 years, I may be in a wheelchair.
You come away with a possible diagnosis, something very detrimental. I can't imagine the different emotions and different things you went through. Where did you go? What did you begin to do?
Well, first I went, and I've always sort of relied on traditional medicine. You go to the doctor, they tell you what to do, and you do it. But this was pretty dramatic. They were looking at having me hooked up with intravenous steroids that had some pretty dramatic side effects, and I just wasn't comfortable with that being the answer. And so what I tried to do was look at it as, hey, this isn't the verdict, this is a piece of information, and I need to go find some alternate ways to help myself. And so what I started doing there was looking at alternative healing practices and methods and holistic ways to look at the problem.
What do you think? How important is hope?
Hope actually is right at the very top of my list. And before the journey, I probably wouldn't have put it there. But the hope aspect of it and the positive aspect of it has not only gotten me through the scary diagnosis, but it's actually helped mental attitude in check. And if I don't think you have that, if I don't think you have hope, it's really hard to do the hard work you need to do, exercise and staying positive and not working as hard. Those things don't come as easily if you don't feel like there's hope out there to be healthy.
That change could bring a new outcome.
Correct.
The hope. It's very difficult to maintain hope if you don't believe things can change.
Right.
It's interesting. On the 30-70 split, do you think that has a lot to do with staying static? As long as you do what you're doing and you refuse to change, maybe we can't predict future, right? But this is dynamic, changing, wonderful Dr. Lynn. She's different today than she was 6 months from now, and 6 months from the future she'll be different.
Correct.
And I think that's where that prognosis is difficult, is if you don't want to do anything different, enjoy what you've got.
Right.
If you're willing to change, the option's open.
Right. And I did have really great news from the first appointment to the second, and I believe it has a lot to do with the lifestyle and some of the alternative practices I've picked up along the way. And that is the second brain scan showed no progression.
That's right.
So now the opportunity for me having MS diminishes. But even without, whether I got a diagnosis or a percentage, I almost didn't need to hear that, because I feel on the inside that I'm on the right track to getting back to a healthy, balanced body.
And I think that's the key. If you believe you're healthy, I think you are. And we have such a beautiful ability to influence and make changes, and if we don't like it, do something different. Lynn, I love what you've done. I love working with you. I love the fact that this is Dr. Lynn. She drives the bus of her health, and it goes where she wants to go. And we can't predict where we're going to be. We don't know everything, but we do know this. We have choices, and I want to live at 100% until I don't have a chance to do that anymore. Do you have anything else you want to share?
I think that's pretty much it.
Okay, you're fantastic. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you.